Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Travis, with the Magic Cave, and I've got a little deck that I'm going to be playing today. That is, it's one of my favorites. I mean, my favorite Planeswalker um, is easily Karn. Urza being a close second for any of you that have been playing Magic for at least a little bit, like I have. But this deck, it's all like kind of based around artifacts. Mainly, it is kind of like with your Steel Overseers. You're kind of wanting to put counters on everything that you can. Um, it's kind of a riff on the mono white artifact deck that I was running with Luris, except this is actually three colors. So with three colors, it actually gives you quite a bit more range of like just silly stuff that you can get into. Um, so real quick, I'll go over the deck list and I'll show you what we got. Four Ginger Brutes because, well, besides it being one of my favorite one drops in the game right now, it's a great little card for getting damage through. Um, Basically, if you're not playing against a mono red deck that's got creatures with haste, this guy can swing in all day for damage. And the great thing about it is we have a lot of enhancements to him in this deck. Shadow Spear is because you gotta have Shadow Spear. Um, I usually run about just one on this. Anything else is kind of like overkill, it being a legendary. Um, However, it itself is just great for getting rid of the hexproof and indestructible that is running around like crazy. Um, Now that like heroic intervention has gotten reprinted, so I've been seeing a lot of that. It's usually sideboarded, but anyway, I digress. We have some Ozoliths. I'm thinking about knocking this down to one. It really helps a lot in this deck, is why I have two, because you're going to have a lot of artifact creatures that have +1/+1 counters on them from Steel Overseer. Um, so, I mean, it could play really well. It could not. I've had it actually go both ways. One thing that you've got to have in this deck is all that glitters. With as many artifacts that are running around in this deck, and enchantments for that matter, you're going to want to have these in. Like I said before, these are game winners. But that being said, they're also huge targets. Like as soon as you play one of these, an opponent's going to try every way they can to get rid of it. For things like that, you need Feat of Resistance, which is basically my favorite protection spell right now. It costs a little more than, say, your, what's the name of that spell? Here it is. Fight as one. Um, this is great. It's a one drop and it does like humans and non-humans, but I mean you don't have any humans in this deck, so really you're losing half the efficiency of the card. With these, as much as we're playing with +1 counters, it really feeds into the deck. So I've got four of these as well. Corridor Monitor. A lot of people like to hate on this card, but you can really get into some shenanigans with some of the stuff that's in this deck with this card. It has such a low cost, and you have things in here that reduce your costs of your artifact cards and your colorless spells, but even though technically this isn't colorless, still the cost is so low on this, you can really you can get into all kinds of stuff with it. I have two Maze Mind Tomes in here. Ideally, you would have four. Oh, I actually have a rare right now. I could go ahead and grab another. This is a great little card. This is one of those cards that you could really just put in any deck. Just putting a stop at the beginning of your turn and scrying real quick just to see what you're getting ready to draw. I mean, the benefit of this card is really just underplayed. I mean, this is an amazing card. And also, I mean, it adds to your artifact count, which you'll see as we get down lower to how that helps. Steel Overseer, gotta run 4 copies of this guy in here. He gets a big target on his back because he is so powerful in terms of this deck. With every kind of like artifact that we've got in here, every single one of them is going to +1/+1 counter each turn. And if you do something like tap your Overseer, then you can play a Monitor, untap it, add another counter. You start to build up a lot of counters very easily with this. And the great thing with this deck is you can add so much kind of different stuff to it. You can add a lot of proliferate if you want. It's really just it's really up to you. I've got a couple Grim Tutors in here. Also, you'd want to run more of these. Obviously, a lot of these cards you want to run more of and take out some of the like lesser cards. But if you're like me, I don't often have a lot of wild cards lying around, you know. So unless you're like pumping money into this game, I mean, you really just you gotta get what you can get, you know. So I've only got 2 Tutors in here because I use them in so many different decks. I mean, I need to get some more. I've got a Teferi Time Raveler in here. Again, you would want more of these because he is just so super useful. You can also use him to return like an artifact that you control or an enchantment that you control. If something's not working out right, you know, you can pop it back into your hand. That's where Corridor Monitor works really well with Teferi. You can play your Monitor, untap an artifact, use Teferi to bring it back, and then play it again. You can get all kinds of counters easy with all that. And speaking of counters, got a couple of Crystalline Giants. These guys are great. If you can get about 4 of these in this deck, you'd be surprised at how well these guys do. Especially with Ozolith, you're getting all these different kind of counters, and then, you know, people will kill these quick, or at least try to anyway. You're getting these counters on all kinds of other stuff. Palladium Mirror, it's great for some colorless mana. You have a lot of colorless stuff in here. That being said, you do have a lot of like colored stuff in here too. So maybe you could take these out. It's up to preference. Teferi, Master of Time, I've got him in here. I'd like to get a couple more. He gets counters like a beast. I'm sure everybody already knows. Here's one, like Arcanist Owl is a great card, but I'm thinking about removing it because it's sometimes hard for you to get 4 of one color. I mean, you're running 3 colors in here, so I mean, maybe you're not having a great time getting like 2 blue and 2 white. I mean, hopefully you will. But it's a great little card for grabbing artifacts. I got Karn, the Great Creator, in here, of course, and I've got a sideboard full of stuff, very situational, that you can take care of. Obviously, you got some meteor golems. I just stuck a Parthalion, too, in here just for the hell of it. And surprisingly enough, Vantress Gargoyle is a great card to sideboard with Karn. I definitely wouldn't mainboard it, but sideboarding it, you'd be surprised at how often it actually helps out. Besides Karn, we have a Tezzeret, Master of the Bridge, just because if you're playing with black and blue, he is a no-brainer with your artifacts. He's so great. It gives everything, like your creatures and your planeswalkers, affinity. You're doing so much damage based on your artifacts. I mean, he's great to have in. And speaking of one that's great is Ugin. I've actually got a ton of the Spirit Dragon in here because he is such a popular card. And you're kind of going to be ramping up to him. So, I mean, obviously this guy is probably one of your win conditions, although you have so many win conditions in this deck, it's not even funny. Also got a Chromatic Orrery in here just because it's a great card to have. You can draw some cards with it. And some Stone Cold Serpents. Again, I would recommend a full play set of these just because they are so good right now. They are popular though, so you'll probably see a lot of answers for that. Basic Plains, Island Swamp. Got some Hallowed Fountains, Godless Shrines. Obviously, you would want a lot more of these. I got a Bonder's Enclave in here because you'll be surprised at how often you have like the biggest power creature out, and some Fabled Passages because of course you got to have some Fabled Passages. So it's kind of a big deck. It's about 75 cards, but we'll play it real quick on just playing around. You guys probably know me by now. I don't like doing ranked a lot. Ranked is fun, but if you're like me, you like seeing a lot of different decks, and once you start climbing that ladder in ranked, the metagame ends up boiling down between maybe 4 decks. You know, you end up seeing the same ones, and for me that's not fun, especially if these decks are just headaches and a half. So, I mean, for me, like, ranked is fun, but it's not my main focus. I mean, on Arena, I like having fun. So that's why I love playing just regular games like this, because you'll see a ton of different decks like this. So we got a pretty decent hand here, actually a really great hand. Some Overseers, Teferi, Grim Tutor, Fabled Passage. Wow, we're doing really great. I'll keep that. Hello, doggy. I really need to get the Master Pass, really. That's one thing I need to get. I haven't gotten one yet on here. I don't know. Just haven't gotten around to getting one. We'll go ahead and lay that down. Lay that tapped, because we don't have a turn 1 play, which is surprising. You will normally have a ton of one turns, especially with your Ginger Brute. Oh boy, Paradise Druid. So, I'm thinking this is like some kind of mutate deck. We'll go ahead and take 2, just so we got those different colors out. We'll go ahead and play Still Overseer. Now I'm probably getting ready to see like the blue mutate Heron, I think, and whenever they mutate they draw a card. And I've been seeing a huge resurgence of these mana geodes. I've actually considered putting some in this deck just because I am so artifact heavy, and the Scry is great. Now see, this is tempting. I kind of want to block. I think I will. If this isn't a mutate deck, then I'm gonna feel silly. But oh boy, they got shrines. Okay. Well, let's see. Let's save Teferi, because I'm sure we'll get a black shrine here pretty soon, and we don't want that damage to uptick. So maybe if we can like slow down their momentum a little bit with a Teferi and get some +1/+1 counters on this Overseer, it'd be great. Leyline Prowler, wow! See, this is why I like playing these kind of like just regular decks here. I should have played the Fabled Passage, because there is so much like variance on what you see here. Like, I mean, I haven't seen Leyline Prowler in I don't know how long, which I don't understand. It's a great card. No, we're good. We're not going to attack. Now, we do have a Grim Tutor in hand, so we can look for like some kind of situational stuff. Another great thing about this deck is with working with black and white and blue, you have access to like a lot of like board sweepage. Like if you're planning on playing in ranked with this deck, I would consider adding like Shadow the Sky, because it's kind of the flavor of the month right now. Maybe like Ritual of Soot, something like that. If you're having a lot of problems with people going wide. But again, it's mainly preference. Let's see, what color do we need? White, black, white, white. Let's grab us an island, just in case. Now we could drop the Owl, but I think I'm going to go ahead and drop Stone Coil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll make it 7. Mainly just because we can start swinging with... I forgot to put a +1 counter on my creatures last turn. That's okay though. Like I said, it's nothing. I'm not super serious about, you know, just going all out. You know, I don't try hard on all this stuff, because we're playing around. It's more about like just making crazy decks and stuff like that. I know nothing. This isn't like crazy, but it's really fun. If you like playing artifacts and stuff, this is the kind of the deck for you. They're busting out a lot of shrines here. You gonna tap him? Let's see. I'm trying to save that Teferi for a moment when I really just... I could go ahead and play him and bounce the Prowler and hit for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I can hit for 13. Go ahead and give a counter. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I only have 6 mana though. We're going to keep the Tutor in our hand for a little bit. Let's go ahead and play Teferi, because that Tutor is great. Especially if you want to look up like Ugin. Like, we have enough for the 6 mana Ugin right now. And speak of the devil, look at that. We'll be playing him next turn. They'll probably replay the Prowler, and we can use Ugin to get rid of it. I'm just going to head and make these guys a little bit bigger. Now, surprisingly, I'd really like to see like an Ozolith right now. I know a lot of people aren't like really hinging their strategy on an Ozolith, but I'd love to have that kind of like little bit of insurance for these +1 counters that I'm getting. They are running a little bit of white here. I don't picture them playing a Shadow of the Sky. I was getting ready to say, I pictured them dropping a Sanctum. And there's the black one. Now, I could do Ugin, and you know, really, I'm not that scared of this Prowler. I can keep attacking with the Serpent, and where I have protection from multicolored, I don't have to worry about it. And that doesn't proc Death Touch either, because it doesn't actually do any damage to the Serpent. And hey, we got the Ozolith. That's great. We'll go ahead and plus the Fairy. I actually think I'm going to get rid of the Sanctum with Ugin's ability. It's okay, go ahead and tap him.
Here goes nothing.
Go ahead and play Ugin. Now, this Ugin's great because it really takes care of some of your costs. You know, it reduces the cost of your colorless spells. So I mean, like that Ozolith, that was free. Now we want to just be careful here. I don't want to lose my Mirror, but I don't want to lose my Overseer, because they're probably going to swing at Ugin, which is actually okay, because I believe we're going to tutor the 8-mana Ugin, the Spirit Dragon, next turn. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys were like, why get rid of the black one when he can just search up another one? And funny thing is, I forgot that procs before any of the other stuff that he does. So I'm going to take a ton of damage from that Black Shrine, and now I have like no kind of removal for it. Which is, you know, it's sad, it happens. And I'll probably end up losing something pretty important right here because of that red shrine. But like I said, guys, it's no big deal if we lose. I just kind of want to show off the deck, that kind of thing, and see if you guys like what we're playing here. All right, 6 damage to him. We'll go ahead and get a counter on. At least we'll make the mirror a little bit bigger. Now, we don't necessarily want to lose him now, so if they want to attack Teferi or Ugin, I'm going to have to take it and let him go, because I am running a little low on the mana here, and it'll probably be another turn, and I don't know if I will actually survive with that Ugin, so I may have to look for something else in the deck. This is a peculiar deck. I mean, it's kind of standard as far as shrines go. Alright, they're going for Ugin, which is a smart choice. I'd go for it too. We're just going to let him die.
Too many unreliable.
Oh, hey, cool. Now we don't have to wait. Let's see. We can swipe the board here. What's I think 5 is the biggest cost for one of these. 3, 2, 1, 3, 4. Ooh, 7. Definitely. Well, I guess we could kill Ugin to get rid of their own. Well, actually, it won't get rid of the Orrery because it's colorless. Let's go ahead and play Ugin. No more playing around. Let's play it. They don't have any mana open, so what we're gonna do is this, and we'll take away 5.
What little you find.
Now this, actually all their mana's tapped, so this wins us the game. See ya, Teferi. It's for the greater good.
You are too dangerous to roam free.
And, oh wow, we're 1 off. 1 off. I need to math better. Alright, let's see what you can pull out, man. I'm not saying you can do some stuff that won't ruin me, but... Alright, good game, man. So, like you saw, like even with some misplays on my part, I really should have removed the Sanctum of All, um, just to stop from getting that Sanctum of Fangs back, or whatever it was called. Um, but still, I mean, you guys get an idea of what the deck can do. With Ugin being so powerful, you have like ways of tutoring him. You have ways of like ramping your mana up a little bit to be able to play him. Um, I suppose you could play some more of the mana geodes. I mean, that wouldn't be a bad addition to the deck. If you were focusing on trying to get to Ugin the Spirit Dragon. He is like such a powerful card. His second loyalty ability is like hands down one of the best control abilities. You know, it wipes the board, and the great thing about it is like more often than not, you're gonna have so many artifact creatures on your side, and those are colorless. So really, you can wipe the board clean and not worry about all your stuff dying too. And lots of times it'll win you some games. So I hope you guys like the gameplay here. And if you guys have any ideas for decks or anything like that, shoot us a comment. If you're interested in what we're doing, just hit like, subscribe, hit the little notification bell for whenever we do videos, because we're going to try to schedule a lot more stuff for YouTube. Especially with Arena, we've really gotten into Arena lately. I know when we first started, we kind of weren't fans of it because, you know, I'm more of a traditional player. I enjoy like paper Magic, but there is a lot of convenience to Magic Arena. So again, if you guys want to like play us or anything like that, we have our names and our stuff like that on social media. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it, and we'll talk to you later.